Good morning, all. Welcome to the Pension Fund Committee. We have quite a full agenda here. Firstly, can I ask for any apologies of absence?
Thank you, Chair. Apologies from Councillors Patience Bentu and Will Thomas.
Thank you very much. That's excellent. And next is disclosures of personal or prejudicial interest. Microphone.
My apologies, Chair. My wife and myself are both members of the fund.
I'm in receipt of a pension fund as well.
Thank you, Chair. Also a member of the Pension Fund.
I'm also a member of the pension fund.
Similarly, Chairman, I'm a member of the scheme.
I'm a member of the pension fund.
And Phil?
Yeah, my brother's in a pension fund, usual thing. Thanks.
Thank you. We go on now to the minutes of the last meeting and for approval. So if I could go through them. Page 1, page 2, page 3. Is everybody happy with the minutes? Thank you very much. It's fine. We now move on to item 4 on the agenda, which is the ISA 260 report. Yes, that's the report from Audit Wales, City and County Swansea Pension Fund, and I believe Gillian, Gillette and Leanne are online to give this report. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Can I just check that you can hear me okay?
Yes, we can. Thank you very much.
Yes. Okay, so this is our audit of accounts report, our ISA 260 report, which summarises the main findings from our audit of your 23-24 financial statements. So we've carried out the audit in accordance with auditing standards, which prescribe how we must undertake an external audit of a set of accounts. And also it's in accordance with the audit plan, which this committee received back in July. So external audit can never give absolute assurance that the accounts are accurate. So we do use an industry standard concept of materiality. So that's those misstatements that might otherwise cause the user of the accounts to be misled. And the figure for the pension fund this year was 33.3 million. But there are some areas of the accounts that may be more important to users of the accounts, so we set a lower level of materiality for these, and these were key management personnel disclosures, where we set a materiality level of £1,000, and related party disclosures, where materiality was set at £10,000. So this is a positive report, and the AGW intends to issue an unqualified opinion. I'd just like to say we've continued to work with the finance team throughout the accounts process, and we'd just like to express our thanks to Jeff, Karen and the team for their help and support in providing us with the audit evidence we've needed. We've completed our audit work, but there are just a few matters that we are required to report to you before you approve the financial statements. So on page 9 of the report, which is page 12 of your pack, also sets out that we intend to issue an unqualified opinion once we've received the letter of representation, which is set out in Appendix 2, and the proposed audit opinion is set out in Appendix 1. As I said, it's a clean report and reflects well on the team and the pension fund. Then on page 10, which is page 13 on your pack, we note that there are no uncorrected misstatements in the accounts. There were some minor misstatements in the draft accounts, which have been corrected in this final version and had no impact on the net expenditure or net assets of the pension fund. And there are no other issues that we need to bring to your attention. So this is a positive report, and I'm happy to take any questions. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions for Gillette? Sorry, Gillian? Jeff, can I bring you in?
Not a question, Chairman. Just a statement, really, and a reciprocal vote of thanks to Gillian, Leanne, and her team for discharging their audit duties efficiently and in a timely manner. Because I know their audit schedule is very packed, and they managed to get it in by the required timelines. Again, I'd like to echo your thanks, Chair, as well to my colleague Karen and Claire Elliott, and everyone involved in the production of the statement of accounts and the annual report, and for the second year running. It's a very clean audit report. I mean, you know, I don't mean this disrespectfully, Gillian and Leanne, but there's nothing in it, is there? There's nothing to report within the ISA 260, which counterintuitively is good news as far as we as audit clients are concerned, and long may it continue. So without further ado, thanks, Sharon.
Thank you, Jeff. And just may I add my thanks to the representatives of Audit, Gillian, Gillette and Leanne for all their hard work and the report they brought to us this morning. Thank you very much. Very good. Jeff, do we go on to you now?
Thank you, Chairman. Subsequent to that previous item, the report of Audit Wales is item 5 on the agenda, and that is the now finalised City and County of Swansea Pension Fund Annual Report and Statement of Accounts 23-24. For some of you unlucky individuals, you'll be hearing about this document for about the third time by the end of today, because we've got the ACM scheduled for this afternoon, where I will go through the annual report and statement of accounts with our other employers within the scheme. I know we've got a representative from our other largest employer, Neath Talbot Council, who sits on the committee. However, this afternoon is an opportunity for our other employers within the scheme to appreciate and question the transactions that have been undertaken on their behalf during the year. I've no intention of going through the annual report again in detail, because we did go through it in quite a bit of detail in draft form. So this is the version of the report which has been amended subject to Gillian and Leanne's recommendations in their ISA 260, and Karen has corrected those misstatements identified. Just at a very high level, the main statement of accounts starts on page 3 of the report, page 29 of the pack, which identifies the 3-year stats of the fund, always of interest. Page 6 and page 32. I'll always have double referencing of these numbers now because of the dual referencing on your packs. We have outlined, which is always again of public interest, early access costs and ill health retirement costs. Page 33 starts the quite comprehensive administration report update, where we outline our dealings with members, how we performed as an admin function in terms of customer satisfaction and feedback from our members. There is reference there to the TPR's in-year requirements for us to have our own bespoke cyber policy, and that is on the agenda today. Later on, and we have our colleagues from Aon, Laura and Eric, who will present that policy for your approval later on in today's agenda. It's been a long time in the making. A lot of help and input from Aon and the guys to develop that policy, with a view to fully implementing it in year and hopefully testing it in earnest in due course. On page 14, page 40 outlines our internal dispute resolution process, and as indicated on that page, there have been a very small number of IDPR cases in flight during the year. And then on page 28/54 is a quick summary of our dealings with WPP. We've been a member fund of and a founding fund of the Wales Pension Partnership for 8 years now, and on those pages is a summary of activities in respect of WPP. On page 46/72 is the annual governance statement. Obviously, Swansea Council is the admin authority for the City and County of Swansea Pension Fund, and we very much leverage off the governance framework that operates within Swansea Council. For example, our legal colleagues sit alongside me, our democratic services colleagues in Swansea Council discharge democratic services function. So the AGS there is a reproduction of the AGS that you will see for Swansea Council as the admin authority. Page 93, 119 starts the notes to the accounts, whereby we go into detail and slice and dice the figures in the annual reports to provide a bit more detail and background to the numbers on the face of the accounts. And then on page 114, 140, those of you fortunate to have AVCs outlines our dealings with our AVC providers and summarises those sums outstanding. To be clear, those sums aren't part of the pension fund. They are third-party sums held on behalf of individuals with our third-party AVC providers. However, we're required to disclose those sums outstanding. On page 137, 163, outlines the environmental social governance implementation in respect to our investments, and highlights a number of the very interesting and impactful investments that the fund is engaged in year, or providing an update on their progress. And when we do have the AGM this afternoon, I'll go into a bit more detail and provide a bit more colour for the employers whilst they're there. So, Chairman, again, sick of the sound of my own voice. I'm happy to take questions, Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Are there any questions for Jeff? Online? No, thank you. Thank you, Jeff, for that report on the the statement of accounts. I believe this falls to the committee to approve, so we have to take a vote on this on item 5. So could we do that now, Jeremy? Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. The recommendation is that the City and County of Swansea Pension Fund Annual Report and Statement of Accounts 23-24 is approved. Councillor Mike Lewis, Chair. Councillor Phil Downing.
For.
Councillor Michael Locke.
For.
Councillor Phil Rogers.
For.
Thank you, Chair. It's approved.
Thank you, Jeremy. Excellent. Then we move on now to item 6 on the agenda, which is the breaches report. This is just for information, so I'll pass over to Jeff to carry on with that. Thank you.
Thanks, Chairman. This is the usual breaches report that committee are used to receiving on a quarterly basis, outlining the breaches that were required to report to those charged with governance by the pensions regulator. The committee are used to their quantum and nature, and unfortunately, as previously indicated, we do have repeat offenders. However, despite all attempts at punitive encouragement, help, because of one reason or another, they do struggle to hit those deadlines. It's not a major concern because the sums are duly received in due course. It's purely administrative oversight on what are understandably very small employers with very small admin support. I think, Chairman, that the last breaches report, the last quarter, we're fortunate to report no breaches last time, but however, this time there are a number of small breaches that you can see at the end of the report. Again, happy to take questions on any of the detail included in the report on those breaches, and come back with further detail if that is required.
It's not a question, Jeff, but is there any way we can again write out to the people who have caused these breaches and indicate to them that it is of high importance that they return their figures to us as just as soon as possible.
There is routine engagement with these employers, Chairman, on an operational basis, because Karen's colleagues actually deal with them operationally, talk to them all the time, so they're aware of their obligations as a member and employer within the scheme. As I say, historically, we've tried the stick approach, we've tried the carrot approach. It's tough. Best endeavours, Chairman, are being engaged, and save escalating any further, which we have in one instance, to no avail. I'm afraid, Chairman. So we do rack our brains, and happy to take suggestions from committee if they have any suggestions on how to improve those performances. But from a risk management perspective and on a risk basis, in expending a lot of time and effort in this, because of the sums involved and the risk of not receiving the sums, I would deem it low risk.
Thank you for that. But I would like a letter written out to these people in no uncertain terms that they have breached the conditions, and could they address it as soon as possible. Thank you.
Happy to oblige, Chairman.
Move on to item 7, which is exclusion of the public. Can I have a vote on excluding the public, please, Jeremy?
Thank you, Chair. The recommendation is to exclude Chairman,
Or
Councillor Mike Locke,
or
Councillor Phil Downing,
Or
and Councillor Phil Rogers. Thank you, Chair. That's approved.